Most compliments make her smile. These ones, they make her obsess, because when a man compliments her the way only a few men on earth ever have, not with flattery, not with weakness, but with quiet power, she doesn't just remember the moment. She rewinds it in her head, over and over again. If you're the man who wants to be heard, felt, and remembered, then this isn't a list of pickup lines. This is a psychological weapon. Let's begin. She feels your presence. She catches your glance. She knows something's there. But you haven't said a word. No chase. Just quiet power. And yet you're the one she can't stop thinking about. Because it's not the obvious men who make her fall. It's the ones who say the most. By saying the least, that's the power of the compliments that aren't obvious. Number 1, I bet no one's ever told you no before. This compliment doesn't sound like praise. It sounds like defiance. But underneath it, it's one of the most seductive things you can ever say to a woman. Most men bend. Most men adjust. Most men try to impress, agree, flatter. But you're different. And when you say, I bet no one's ever told you no before, you're not rejecting her. You're reminding her that she's never been challenged. This sentence hits like cold water. Sudden, bracing, but strangely addictive. The psychology of no. The average beautiful woman hears yes all day. Yes, you're gorgeous. Yes, I'll buy you a drink. Yes, I'll agree with you. Yes, you can do whatever you want. It creates a loop where men give, she chooses, and no one dares push back. But deep down, women don't respect men who chase validation. They crave a man who doesn't fear confrontation. A man who doesn't need access, because he is the access. When you say, I bet no one's ever told you no before, you're not being rude. You're being bold, calm, clear. You're breaking her emotional script. And breaking scripts equals creating obsession. What she feels when you say this line does something most compliments don't. It pulls power back to you. Suddenly she's not the one holding the control. Suddenly she's wondering, what does he mean? Is he judging me? Has he figured me out? Why do I care what he thinks? All of this runs in the background because your line, I bet no one's ever told you no before, doesn't feel like praise. It feels like command. It feels like correction. It feels like emotional tension wrapped in calm observation, and tension keeps her emotionally present. Delivery is everything. Do not use this line arrogantly. Use it when she's expecting praise, and you drop the opposite. Maybe she tells a wild story about how men chase her. Maybe she brags about how she always gets her way. Maybe she's testing you, pushing boundaries. That's your moment. You lean in, lower your voice slightly. Not with aggression, but with certainty. And you say, I bet no one's ever told you no before. Then pause. Let it sit. Watch her blink. Maybe laugh, maybe shift, maybe ask, what do you mean? And you don't even need to explain, because the moment you say it, she's already playing it back in her head. Why this compliment changes the game. Most men try to get women to like them. You're not trying to be liked. You're making her question herself around you, and women don't chase men who agree with them. They chase the man who can say no, and still keep her intrigued. By saying, I bet no one's ever told you no before, you signal, I'm not intimidated by your looks. I won't reward bad behavior. You've never met a man who doesn't bend for you. If I say yes, it's because I mean it, not because I'm weak. This is masculine polarity at its core. And polarity is what makes women feel emotionally alive. Practical usage. Use this line sparingly. Never rehearse it. Let it rise naturally when the moment feels off balance, when she's posturing too hard or acting too entitled, it doesn't have to be aggressive. In fact, the calmer you are when you say it, the more powerful it feels. Say it once, then say nothing more, because what follows will be her reaction. She may test you. She may flirt harder. She may lean in and try to reassert control. Whatever she does, stay grounded, because once you've said it, you've already made her feel something that 99% of men never will. That she's finally met a man who isn't afraid of her power. And that is what makes you unforgettable. Number 2, I see the part of you you don't show. Most men look at a woman and respond to what she shows them. They react to her smile, her confidence, her beauty, her surface energy. But you're not like most men. You don't react, you read. And this compliment? It tells her you've read something that no one else even noticed was there. When you say, I see the part of you you don't show, everything changes. You're not just giving her attention, you're challenging her identity with elegance. Let's break it down. Why this compliment is so powerful. Every woman has layers. Some she wears proudly, her looks, her intelligence, her achievements. But others, she hides them. Those hidden layers include her fears, her softness, her shame, her longing, her emotional wounds, her secret hopes. And she guards those layers because the world doesn't understand them. She doesn't just want a man to compliment her surface. She wants a man to witness her humanity. When you say, I see the part of you you don't show, you are unveiling something sacred. You're not asking her to expose herself. You're telling her that you already see it, and you're not afraid of it. That creates instant intimacy. Not sexual, emotional, and emotional intimacy is what bonds her to you, long after the conversation ends. The psychological effect. This compliment ignites a cocktail of emotional reactions. Defensive curiosity. What does he mean? What does he think he sees? Intrigue. Has he really noticed something deeper? Vulnerability tension. Do I want him to see more? Emotional elevation. I feel seen in a way I didn't expect. It breaks her routine of shallow interactions. It turns a casual moment into something transformational. She stops thinking of you as just a guy. Now you are someone with the power to reach her soul. And that is unforgettable. How to use it. This line should never be used with arrogance. It should come from a place of calm, grounded presence. You wait for the moment. Maybe she's being playful but guarded. Maybe she talks fast, but her eyes look distant. Maybe she's deflecting compliments or downplaying her success. In that pause, you lean in slightly. Your voice lowers. Your tone softens, but stays firm. Then you say, I see the part of you you don't show. And then silence, again. Don't fill the gap. Don't joke. Don't explain. Don't rescue the moment. Let her sit in it. Let her feel seen. Let her wonder what you saw. Let her consider opening that part of herself. That pause is where the magic happens. Because women don't want to be understood too quickly. They want to be slowly revealed, but only by the man who's patient enough to handle the truth. What she feels, you become emotionally dangerous. Not because you hurt, but because you can see past the armor. And that is terrifying, but also incredibly attractive, because the part she hides is also the part she secretly hopes someone will recognize. When you notice it and don't demand to touch it, just acknowledge it exists, you become rare. You become the man who doesn't just chase beauty, He connects to truth. And truth is something women feel, remember, and crave more of. Why this works for bad boys. Bad boys aren't always wild. The real ones are emotionally disciplined. They don't compliment to gain favor. They observe and drop a line that hits like a slow burn. They don't need her reaction to feel good about themselves. They speak it and leave it hanging in the air, like smoke. And that smoke stays with her, because long after you're gone, she'll be asking herself, "What did he see?" That question creates emotional obsession. And obsession isn't built in the moment. It's built in the echo of what you said. Number 3, most men chase you. I'd rather understand you. This isn't just a compliment. It's a complete disruption of how she experiences male attention. She's used to being admired. She's used to being pursued, praised, pedestalized. But when you say, "Most men chase you. I'd rather understand you," you make it clear. You're not like the others. You're above the game. Let's unpack the weight behind these 11 words and why they immediately set you apart from every man she's ever met. Why this compliment rewires her brain. The average man validates what he sees. But the man with stoic strength? He validates what he understands. This line flips her world because it does 3 things simultaneously. Dismisses competition. You don't want what they want. Redefines value. You don't seek beauty. You seek depth. Frames her emotional truth as the goal. Not her looks, not her body, not her attention, but her truth. Most compliments feed her ego. This one challenges her identity. And when a woman is challenged without being attacked, she becomes magnetically pulled toward the man doing it. The power of "I don't need to chase." When you say this line, you're doing what few men have the courage to do. You're not reacting to her power. You're redefining the terms of connection. You're showing her that you see through the social charade. You know the effect she has on others. And it doesn't faze you. Because your attention isn't given away, it's earned. That creates a powerful contrast. Most men see her and lose composure. You see her and see through her performance. That's why this compliment doesn't feel like validation. It feels like reorientation. A new way of relating. A new man she doesn't know how to predict. And unpredictability is emotional gravity. How to use this line with maximum effect. The setting matters. This isn't something you throw out as banter. This line works best when she thinks she has you figured out. Maybe she's telling you about men chasing her. Maybe she says something flirty, expecting you to bite. Maybe she thinks she can manipulate the interaction. That's when you lean in slightly, hold eye contact, and say calmly, "Most men chase you. I'd rather understand you." Then you pause. No smirk, no smile, just certainty. She might laugh. She might test you. She might ask, "What do you want to understand?" Perfect, because now she's off script. Now she's in your frame. The emotional impact on her. This compliment creates a surge of mixed emotions in her. Confusion. Why isn't he chasing me? Intrigue. What does he see in me that others don't? Self-reflection. Do I want to be understood? Respect. He's not like the others. Curiosity. What kind of man even thinks like that? You become more than just a guy. You become an emotional puzzle she wants to solve. And when a woman tries to solve you, she invests emotionally. When she invests emotionally, she becomes attached. And the men she gets attached to are never the ones who chased. Why this disqualifies the average male. This compliment is not for weak men. If you say this line but act like every other guy, needy, reactive, overly impressed, it falls flat. But if you deliver this line with calm posture, no tension, no chase, it builds your myth. Because now you're the first man who didn't compete. The first man who didn't beg. The first man who wanted to know her mind, not just her body. That's leadership. That's masculine selectiveness. And that's what makes her want to be chosen by you, without even understanding why. Practical breakdown. Before you use this line, detach from needing her attention. Study her calmly. Let her feel your quiet interest, not your eagerness. When you say it, look at her like you already understand more than she wants you to. Speak slowly, clearly, with no tension. Hold silence after, then let her come to you. Because once those words hit her nervous system, she'll want to close the distance, emotionally, physically, psychologically, and you won't need to chase. Because now she's chasing a connection she's never felt before. Number 4, you see everything, but you say nothing. The compliment that feels like a mind game. She notices the way you look at her, not like the others. You don't scan her body. You don't rush to speak. You just watch, not with hunger, not with desperation, but with calm curiosity. She shifts, slightly, adjusts her posture. She's aware of your eyes now, aware that you've been watching. But you haven't said a word. You just observe. She wonders if you like her, wonders why you haven't made it obvious. There's no compliment, no eager smile, just that still gaze, like you're not just seeing her, but reading her. And in that silence, you create something most men never do. Tension. The power of subtext over expression. Most men overplay. They signal interest too loudly. You signal with absence, with restraint. And that restraint is deafening. It says, I notice you, but I don't need to show it. I feel something, but I won't speak it first. You interest me, but I'm not here to chase. She starts to replay your glances. Why did you hold eye contact that long? Why did your eyes drop, then return, as if you were deciding something? It's not what you say that gets her. It's what you make her feel in the quiet moments. You've planted a question in her mind, not by asking it, but by living it. And the question is, what does he see in me? The compliment that isn't spoken. You see everything, but you say nothing. It's not a line you throw out randomly. It's a reflection you give her when the silence between you is stretched long enough to mean something. She feels it before you say it. That sentence isn't about her beauty. It's about her layers, her mask, her silence, her guardedness. When you finally say it, calmly, slowly, she doesn't laugh. She freezes. Her breath catches. She feels seen, not exposed, but witnessed. And that kind of witnessing, it disarms her. Because most people see what she shows. You see what she hides. The mind game. The real mind game isn't manipulation. It's emotional gravity. You let her fill in the blanks. You let her wonder. You let her reach. You don't clarify your intention. You don't say, I like you. You don't flirt. You don't validate. Instead, your presence speaks. Every glance says, I know what you're doing. Every silence says, I see what you're hiding. Every pause says, you're not fooling me, and I like that about you. And when she starts to question what you think of her, she starts to pursue answers. From you. She leans in more. She asks more questions. She tells you stories that aren't about anything, just to see how you respond. And you? You just observe. You see everything, but you say nothing. It becomes your signature, not just a compliment, but a frame of power. How to use it. Wait for the moment where she shifts. Not when she's laughing. Not when she's guarded, but when she's curious. Maybe she's testing you. Maybe she's trying to get a reaction. Maybe she's saying something deeper than her words. That's when you drop it. You see everything, but you say nothing. Say it like a thought you accidentally let slip. Then go silent again. That silence will drive her wild, because now she doesn't know where she stands. And when a woman doesn't know where she stands with you, she leans in further to find her footing. What you create in her. You create internal movement. She replays your glances. She rewrites her responses. She rethinks everything she thought she understood about this interaction. She's been admired before, but never studied like this. She's been complimented, but never noticed. And now? She wants more. Not because you begged, not because you pleased, but because you played the one move that makes her feel emotionally exposed and incredibly safe. You saw her, but you didn't say it first. You waited. And that wait made her crave your voice like oxygen. Number 5. That look. What are you hiding? This line is different. It's not delivered with dominance. It's not spoken like a statement. It's said like a whisper that slides past her guard and lands right in her gut. That look. What are you hiding? It's a question that doesn't demand an answer. It's a tease, a truth, and a test, all wrapped into one. Let's break it wide open. Why this compliment works on every level. This line has layers. It notices something hidden. She thinks she's composed, but you see something in her face. That intrigues her. It flirts through implication. You're not accusing. You're inviting her into playful vulnerability. It creates emotional contrast. You're calm. She's composed. Then you drop this question. And suddenly she's thinking. Unlike most compliments that give, this one pulls. It pulls her into herself, into curiosity, into wondering what you're seeing that she didn't think was visible. And when a woman starts wondering what you see in her, she becomes emotionally hooked. The deep female response to, "What are you hiding?" Every woman, no matter how confident, calm, or dominant, hides something. A fear, a past hurt, a dream she doesn't talk about, a mask she wears to protect her softness, and very few people ever look closely enough to notice it. Even fewer are bold enough to name it. So when you say, "That look, what are you hiding?" it hits her differently. It doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like a doorway, a gentle nudge into emotional exposure. A playful way of saying, "I see you." Not all of you, but enough to know there's more. That creates magnetic mystery tension, the kind that pulls her closer while making her feel safe. How to use it with precision. Timing is everything. This line works best when her energy shifts just a little. Maybe she blushes, looks away, says something soft, laughs but doesn't explain, pauses during eye contact. In that tiny moment, you lean in slightly, keep your tone soft, not intense, and say, "That look, what are you hiding?" Then stop. Don't laugh. Don't tease. Just watch her reaction. She might smile nervously, look away, ask what you mean. She might play it off or go silent for a second. Perfect. Because that silence, that glance, that pause, it means she felt something. And what she felt was seen. without pressure, without performance, just gently witnessed by a man who's calm enough to hold the moment. The emotional impact on her. She's not used to this. She's used to men trying to impress her, not men who read her. She's used to guys wanting her to open up, not men who recognize when there's more underneath. So when you say, "That look, what are you hiding?" you don't just make her feel flattered, you make her feel emotionally engaged. Now she's present with you. And when she's present, she can't hide behind surface conversation. Now it's not about what she says, it's about what she feels. And what she feels is tension, comfort, curiosity, a strange desire to open, but only to you. Frame control through subtle challenge. This line also subtly puts you in control. You're not asking for validation. You're not giving it either. You're placing the spotlight on her inner world and letting her decide what to do with it. That's power, not forceful power, but emotional control. You're directing the tone of the interaction. You're deciding what matters. You're leading, not with strength, but with surgical calm. And calmness is the most attractive force when paired with emotional awareness. Fire real-life application tips. Use it when you notice a shift, not randomly. Keep your tone slow, low, warm. Look her in the eye, then look away after. Don't push for an answer. Let her decide. And if she does answer, whatever she says, don't overreact. Don't praise, don't analyze, just listen. Because sometimes the real compliment isn't the words, it's the space you hold after. Final emotional effect. After this line, something happens. She stops treating you like a guy she's talking to. Now you're a man who feels like a mirror, not the kind that flatters, the kind that sees through. And that kind of man stays in her head, even after she walks away, even when she's with someone else, even when she doesn't know why she keeps thinking about you, because you didn't try to take from her. You just asked the one question she didn't expect. That look, what are you hiding? And in that moment, without knowing it, she gave you her attention, her energy, and a part of her story. Most men think compliments are about praise. But now you know. The most powerful compliments are about presence. When a man compliments from need, she smiles and forgets. When a man compliments from power, she remembers forever. These 5 lines aren't tricks. They're emotional keys. Keys that open her curiosity. Keys that unlock her vulnerability. Keys that set you apart from every man she's ever met. Because you didn't chase, you observed. You didn't perform, you revealed. You didn't ask her to open up. You just looked her in the eye and made her feel seen. And that's unforgettable. If you made it to the end of this video, comment "unstoppable," so I know you finish what you start. You're rare. But if you're ready to go deeper, if you want a full ebook on bad boy psychology, a blueprint that will solve the problems most men silently face in dating, attraction, and emotional leadership, then drop a comment. Level up below. This isn't a gimmick. It's the roadmap to becoming a man who doesn't just get attention. He leads the frame, owns the tension, and changes every room he walks into. Support the channel. Share this message. Because the more men who live this, the better the world becomes for everyone. And the women? They're not just waiting for a good man. They're waiting for a man who knows exactly who he is. Let's build that man. See you in the next video.